All right. Yep. All right, folks. Hey there. We are live. How are we all doing this evening? This wonderful Thursday, Thermonuclear Thursday, we call it. Or actually, we've changed it up on the mastermind today with our new host, Jesse Jenkins. It's now Thankful Thursday, which is a great thing to have. It's great way to start your week and just go through your day. So, anyway, folks, if you're coming to me live, give me the hashtag live. If you're going replay, we would love a hashtag replay or just drop a comment down in the box and let me know you're here and let me know where you're coming from. I always like to see where folks are coming from around the world. So, anyway, what do we got this evening? Well, before we get going, don't forget now if you come and happen to see us over here on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe us over there. That definitely helps folks to see things over on YouTube. And if you're having trouble finding us over there, it's going to be at Smiling Stew. That's at Smiling Stew over there for you on YouTube. So definitely check us out there if you're over there on YouTube. And of course, if you are seeing us anywhere besides the Home Business Freedom Group, we would love to have you come and join us in Home Business Freedom. And it's just do a quick search on Facebook. It's Home Business Freedom. And if you have trouble with that, you can go to the link I set up for you on smilingstew.com at and /group. And that'll get you there as well. Now, folks, welcome to Home Business Freedom this evening. I am Smiling Stu Sutherland. I'm a freedom crusader. I give people the knowledge and the tools to build freedom by disconnecting the time from their money and growing residual income from home. So, folks, what have I got for you this evening? Well, I attended Freedom Fest a little while ago, and you know about that. Hey, I even got my Freedom Crusader shirt on this evening. Didn't even think about that. I just happened to be wearing that tonight. But anyway, I was going through some of the Freedom Fest things that I didn't get to see because I wasn't there live. I was there replay. So anyway, I thought I would share a little bit of that with you. One of the things that I was watching that I had missed, and that was our presentation. Now, if you happen to buy a ticket to Freedom Fest, now I've got access to this because I was at Freedom Fest 3. But if you buy your ticket for Freedom Fest 4 now, they're going to give you access to all of the videos from all the prior Freedom Fests right away. So you get to see all that stuff right away. And they gave me all that, because I bought the ticket this year. So I've got all that. They've got it all edited for us here. So we go here to Freedom Fest, and they've got it all broken into the days for you. And anyway, what I'm looking for here is this Feed My Starving Children presentation. I'd just like to share that with you. So let's see if we can widen that up for you, because I'd really like you to see. It really gives you an idea of what Feed My Starving Children is all about. Kind of gives you an idea why I'm working with these people and just who they are. And so anyway, here's what we've got for you. Let's go ahead and see what we can do here.
So let's go ahead and introduce our very special guest. And hello to our live stream viewers from all over the country. Thanks for being here tonight, guys. There's Janine with her Never Give Up shirt. Looking good. All right, so it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Andy Albertini. He was born and raised in wild and wonderful West Virginia. He has been married to the love of his life, Stephanie, for over 28 years. They have 2 adult children, Gabriel and Reagan. Andy has a master's degree in transformational leadership from Barclay College and a BA in business from West Virginia State University. He published his first book, Rogue Leadership. Hey, he sounds like he's a crusader. Rogue Leadership. In 2019, he possesses extensive experience as turnaround specialist for 501c3s with decades of service to churches and nonprofits. His work experience includes regional manufacturing manager for Feed My Starving Children. You're already a hit with us, Andy. And a VP of development unto national organizational effectiveness, manager for Ranbaxby Labs and AstraZeneca Pharmaceuticals. So I'll turn the time over to you, Mr. Andy.
Well, thank you very much, Paul. Appreciate it. Home Business Academy, thank you all. Give yourselves a giant round of applause. So, real quick, how many of you all have either packed with us or have any idea what we do? Just if you can, okay, I can see some hands. Awesome, love that. You're our favorite people. We cannot do what we do without you. So I'm going to run you through. If you've been with us before, some of this is going to sound familiar. Some of it may not. But I'm going to run you through. We have three basic pillars that Feed My Starving Children is sort of founded on. The first one, shockingly, is we feed kids. That's what we do. It's right there in our name, in case you didn't notice that. From a branding standpoint, we have the most clear brand that has ever been created. I just love it. Second thing we do is we feed spirits. So what we do is we take that food, we connect it into the kids, and then we give them the gospel with it. You don't have to be a Christian to eat our food. You don't have to be a Christian to pack our food. But it is from that heart where Jesus said, go and feed. And the third one is we empower communities, which is we take communities that are otherwise struggling, we give them the opportunity to grow and thrive and become everything that they can be. That's the foundation of what we do. So I'll break my talk up into just a couple pieces, and I want to leave some time for Q&A. But the first one is the thing that breaks our heart. I wake up every single day, and we go into our offices. We have 8 locations around the U.S., plus all the mobile packs that we do. And we're struck with this singular number. It's 6,200 kids every day die from hunger-related illnesses and diseases. That's what drives us. Just to put that in perspective, because that's a big number, what I would want you to think about is that's roughly 140 737s full of kids falling out of the sky every single day. That's a lot. If that were happening, the world would stand up and take notice. But because these kids are in the least seen places in the world, they go largely unseen. That's why we have Feed My Starving Children, and that's why I have wonderful partners like you all. So that's the thing that breaks our heart. Now, if I left it right there, this is a terrible story, but this is not a terrible story. We have a solution, and that's that hope begins with nutritious food, and that nutritious food is packed by people in hairnets. If you talk to Mark Crea, our CEO, he'll tell you over and over and over again, the heart of Feed My Starving Children is people in hairnets. If you have packed with us, thank you. If you've never packed with us, I want to challenge you to go out and find a location to pack with us. I promise it'll be the most fun you've had wearing a hairnet all week or your money back. That's how this works. That's my personal guarantee to you. So essentially what we do is pretty simple. We bring raw ingredients in, and we have folks that gather around what we call a funnel, right? And we put food into a bag, 4 ingredients, vitamins, veggies, soy, and rice. 4 simple ingredients. The vitamin is really the heart and soul of what makes our food work. In 1987, our founder was on a mission trip and was struck by the hunger that he saw overseas. And he started sending food over, and he realized pretty quickly that what he was sending really just wasn't good, healthy food. It was granola bars and it was junk food, right? And so he went to the University of Minnesota and said, why has nobody ever come up with a food that is shelf-stable, sustainable, and gives you complete nutrition that you can live on it and grow and thrive? And in true fashion, the University of Minnesota looked at him and said, because nobody's ever given us $1 million to do the research. So he went out and raised $1 million and did the research. That's exactly what he did. And that's how we started back in 1987. So those 4 ingredients go into a bag. Those bags go into boxes. Those boxes go onto pallets. Those pallets go onto shipping containers. And within 2 weeks of the day you step on our site, 2 weeks to a month, depending on where it's going, that food is in the hands of the kids that really, really need it. And here's our promise, right? We do a couple of things really, really, really well. The first one is any of those meals that we send out cost exactly 29 cents. We run really lean and really mean. We can feed a kid for a day for 29 cents. And then of every dollar that comes in, and you guys are, I understand you raised some funds for us, so I want you to understand what's going to happen to that money. 91 cents out of every dollar that comes in our door goes right back out to the kids that need it. So we run a very lean and a very mean kind of a service here. So let me run you through a couple of highlights from the year 22-23. Feed My Starving Children, again, Mark Crea, we're weird. Nobody does what we do, and we're weird. So our fiscal year actually starts in March. So we're technically not through a fiscal year just stay with me. So the numbers I'm giving you are for fiscal year 22-23. In fiscal year 22-23, we sent out roughly, well, a little over 4 million meals because of people like you. That's a lot of kids that got a meal, a daily meal for a day. And then the other thing we do really well is we've got a supply chain that is just second to none. We in my location, I'm in Richardson, Texas, by the way. Anybody from Texas? People. So our Richardson, Texas location, we have FedEx and UPS come in and pack with us all the time. They love us. And every time I get a new FedEx or UPS team in, I tell them this number, which is our delivery rate, successful delivery rate on last mile delivery is 99.8% of the food that we send out makes it to its intended location. And everybody tells me I'm lying when I tell them that. And it's just not true. We are that good at what we do. And that's because of our partners. So that's really the secret behind what we do. We have incredible nutritious food. And then we work with in-culture, near-culture people in the countries that we serve. Right now, we're in about 90 different countries. And we've got partners in all these countries that know where these kids are. They know how to get the food to these kids. And they know how to make that work. And so that's why that last mile delivery for us is so important. These folks do incredible work on the field. They feed these kids every single day. I'm going to share with you real quick my favorite story of my field work. The last time I was in the field, I was in Zimbabwe. We were in Mashingo province, which is right down on the border of South Africa. And strangely enough, I don't speak the language. And we don't normally send people like me in. We send people who live there their whole life. So I'm there just to provide muscle. What you can't tell on the screen is that lifting and carrying are my only natural abilities. Everything else is a learned behavior. So I'm in the back of one of those flatbed trucks with the canvas tarp over the top. And I'm just cutting open boxes. I got a staff guy named Alec who's sitting on the back of the truck, and he's actually handing the food out to the people. And if you can imagine, it's the middle of the day, it's hot, and there's this huge long line that's been running. We got a whole bunch of food in the back of this truck. I'm in the back of the truck. I'm opening up boxes. I'm, getting to the end. So I'm just trying to clean things up. And I'm just cutting open boxes and flattening them out and stacking them up, making everything neat and tidy. My staff guy turns around to me, says, Andy, he said, give me a stack of boxes. And I said, Alec, what are you talking about? And he said, just give me a stack of boxes. Like, well, they're empty. And he's like, I know, give me a stack of boxes. See, I'm not very bright. So he had to tell me 3 times. So I get him the big stack of boxes. And this is enough. He said, yeah, that's great. So he hands out the back of the box. I don't know what's going on. I can't see. I can't hear. When it's all said and done, I'm sitting down with him on the back of the truck. I'm like, Alec, what was with the boxes? And he said, the last lady in line, we were out of food. We didn't have enough. And he said she didn't want to go home empty-handed to her kids after standing in line all day. He said, so she asked if she could just have some of those boxes to put down on the ground so that her kids wouldn't have to sleep on the hard ground. It would get them up off the ground just a little bit and insulate them just a little bit. Now, my team went back the next week, brought more food. Everybody got what they needed. But I tell this story all the time. I tell it mostly to my teams here in my region. I manage the sites that are in Illinois and Texas. And what I tell my team all the time is, when you're coming down to the end of your shift, the end of your day, and it's been a hard day, people have cut themselves, or there's been, a shortage of help, or you've had some mess you had to clean up, or it's just been a long day. Can you get me one more box? One more box. Because I get one more box out of the site, one more box onto the pallet, one more box into the container, one more box into the back of that truck. And at the end of that day, that woman went home with a box of food that would keep her kids healthy and alive instead of empty boxes. That's what makes what we do so important. Now, the last piece is people like you. That's the thing. So Feed My Starving Children, we take exactly 0 government money for what we do. Everything we do, 80 to 90% of our funding comes from what we call small dollar donations. These are people who show up and they'll give anywhere between $20 and $106. 106 is an important number for us because that'll feed a kid for a year. That's where the vast majority of our fundraising comes from. People that walk in, put on a hairnet, get touched by what we do, and then have the opportunity to help pay it forward and go deeper with us into that calling. So that's Feed My Starving Children. That's what we do. And I want to make sure that I'm leaving plenty of time. I've got 7 minutes left according to my clock here. I want to make sure I've got plenty of time left for Q&A. So I'm going to open it up and ask me anything. This is ask me something hard. I've been training for this for 2.5 years. I'm ready.
Bill.
How do you pick an area to serve?
Okay, so how do we find field partners? Is that what I'm hearing? Okay.
How do you pick an area to serve with food?
Yep. Okay. So there's a couple of things that have to happen. First of all, on our website, there's an application process that starts right there on our website. I've got a whole department inside of my organization called Department of International Programs. We call them DIPS, but that's not meant as an insult. The DIPS team works with all of our field partners in country. So the big thing you have to have if you're going to partner with us is, one, you have to demonstrate the need. Two, you have to demonstrate the ability to distribute inside the country. That's that last mile piece. And the last piece is you have to have the ability to clear through customs. Probably the hardest thing we do is, once that truck leaves my dock here in Richardson, is I've got to have somebody on the other end who knows how to get that through their customs and clearing. And that can be really tricky and really expensive. I actually started my career in international humanitarian aid doing logistics. And so that's one piece of it. So it's need, it's demonstrated ability to get the food out, and then it's understanding how to clear customs. That's kind of how we go. And we've got, 70 or 80 different partners now in country that work with us. Now, sometimes what'll happen is we'll have big partners like Convoy of Hope. They'll take a lot of food from us. And then once they get it in country, then they share with a whole lot of smaller in country partners. That's another thing that happens. So it's not just the big guys that work with us.
Any other questions? Someone else have their hand up? Gio.
So how do you determine, like, as far as your expansion, how do you determine the process for the expansion? And do you plan to, expand to other locations, and, where would you expand to, if you could?
Yeah. So one of the things we do right now, we have 8 permanent facilities inside the U.S. And yes, we are looking to expand. So just to give you an idea of what the need looks like this year, right now we're on pace to produce about 450 million years in fiscal year 23. So that's an increase of almost 50 million from last year. What our partners asked for us for fiscal year 23 was 700 million. And so there's a huge gap between what we're able to produce right now and what the need is. It may come as a shock to absolutely no one that the need next year is going to be even greater. And so what we've done is we've added a couple little pieces. We for the first time, we've added some machines to what we do, and that came out of COVID. We had a single day, Mark Correa will tell you, it was the worst day of Feed My Starving Children's history, where we didn't pack a single meal anywhere because of COVID. It shut us down completely. And Mark said he didn't sleep for 24 hours because he just knew there was no food being produced. So he made some calls to some donors, and one of the donors had some machinery that they were no longer using. They just shut down their manufacturing plant, and they donated that machinery to us. And so we have the capacity now to produce some meals. We call them institutional packs. So think about it. They go to hospitals, feeding centers, big schools, basically big boxes full of food instead of the individual bags that we do. So that's one thing that we've done to expand. We can do about 40 million meals with that and this year, and we could probably push it out to 50 million next year if we really wanted to. The other thing we're doing is looking at other locations. Now, how do we make that determination? That comes down to, where do we have interested donors? So my location, Richardson, started in what we call a mobile pack. So we take what we do at our 8 permanent sites, and we'll put all that on the back of a semi truck, and we'll send it out, and we'll do it at your location, wherever that meets, church, school, business, colleges. We do a lot of mobile packs. My Richardson location actually supports a lot of those. So we take the raw ingredients, put them on a semi truck, we take it out, you all put it all together, and we bring back the finished product. Richardson got started because here on Lovers Lane United Methodist Church did a mobile pack, and they caught the vision for what we do, and they went to Feed My Starving Children and said, we want to do this full time down here. And so they put together a team, they raised the money, and they put a permanent facility right here in Richardson, which in 3 years' time may actually expand to 2, but that's top secret, and you didn't hear me say that.
Awesome.
So are you saying that how the facilities, are started is just based on having the volunteers that want to do it in that area? That's what determines if you're gonna have a new site.
People that drives most of what we do. We heat map where our donors are. We heat map where our volunteers are. We've got a really good, solid idea about where that is. Right now, Mesa, Arizona, and Richardson, Texas, are 2 highest in terms of appetite for volunteers. So understand what we'll do when we talk about opening a permanent facility. That facility operates from 9 in the morning until 9 at night, 6 days a week. We're only closed on Sunday. So you're talking about moving at any given shift about 200 people through, so 1,000 people a day for 6 days a week, 52 weeks a year. We have to have a lot of volunteers in order to make a permanent site work.
And do you do like a survey, like pretty much how would you know those numbers? Do you like survey the area?
Yeah, I mean, it's very data driven what we do on that side of things. So our marketing and development team, that's Andy Carr, is our vice president of development. We are very numbers driven on the backside. Everything we do is done by, how many volunteers, what kind of volunteer appetite we have. Lovers Lane being the example that I used, they hosted that mobile pack for about 3 or 4 years consecutively. That gave them time to build up reputation inside the community, to start networking out into the community, to find those major donors and find those volunteers. I did a quick check before I hopped on. Right now, Richardson, Texas is our most popular location by volunteer demand. So right now, there are no spots available to volunteer in Richardson, Texas until March. We're just booked full between now and March. It's amazing and humbling to see the number of people that feel compelled to come and take an hour and 45 minutes out of their day and feed a kid.
Rita Joy.
Hi, I am actually from Dallas, and I came to your facility and I met Hillary. Yay, Hillary.
Yes.
Yes, and I would like to know, when should we reserve? We would like to make a reservation for next year during this week of November 11th to come and do a packing from HVA and Feed My Starving Children.
Well, we would love to have that happen. Reach out to Hillary. Hillary's probably going to be your best bet for that. But our reservation system is open 6 months in advance.
Wonderful. Okay. Thank you.
Sounds like we better get on that.
Yeah.
Cass?
My question is, are you looking to feed more cities in America? And if so, if they don't have a bunch of volunteers to start, how can they still get involved? I'm in a city where 1 out of every 5 kids are homeless or hungry, so they need it.
Sure. We do have partners that work inside the U.S. Buckner International is our one partner that does work inside the U.S. And so if I were you, my first check would be to start with Buckner. So understand, we don't actually do any of the distribution. Everything we bring in, we manufacture, we give 100% of the way at no charge to our partners. And so that's, we don't operate in any of these areas. We operate strictly on the manufacturing side. And when we're done, we give that food to no charge to the other organizations.
Awesome. Gregory.
Are the mobile packing units state-based, or can that happen in any state?
Right now, we would be hard-pressed to put one in Alaska or Hawaii, but beyond that, anything in the lower 48 is fair game.
And how would you go about trying to set that up? Is it on the website? website?
Yep. What you want to do is you want to contact through the website. We have we have Mobile Pack Development Associates. So you contact them; they'll get a hold of you. There is a minimum number of meals we ask you to provide, and so there's a cost associated with that. And so there'll be some fundraising that'll be involved on your part. You'll have to line up the volunteers. But honestly, once you get the venue and the fundraising done, it's kind of turnkey from there. My team takes over and we do everything else for you.
Thank you.
And so what does your marketing team, what do they look like?
We have a very small marketing department. We have all of our partners are very small. So we have Andy Carr, and then underneath that we have 2 marketing associates, and we have a webmaster, and then we outsource to about 3 or 4 different consultants basically to help us with social media and some of the other marketing pieces.
All right. Well, I think we'll wrap it up. Everyone give Andy a round of applause. Can you see me?
I can, yes, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to say on behalf of everyone here, we've got a room full of people on the live stream and also in the room. And you coming here and sharing your knowledge and what you guys do really means a lot to us, and we appreciate it. We do these events once a year. This is our 3rd year, and we decided that what we would do with these events is we would donate all of the funds in excess of the event expense 100% to Feed My Starving Children. So we have speakers that travel from across the country and donate their time. We have members from all over the United States of America. So we have some in Belgium that buy a ticket knowing that they're doing so to receive education for them and their families and their futures, but also to feed starving kids. And learning about what you guys do and educating our community really keeps you guys top of mind and deep in heart. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We really appreciate it. And we wanted to announce our donation amount, if that's okay, with what we've all raised here from this event.
Well, on the site, one of the things we always do is we always ask everybody for a drum roll. So let me get a drum roll.
All right, I have one question to ask. Is Amy in here? Amy Starlin? Do you remember from our last event in Mesa what the meal count was that we raised?
It was 17,000.
17,000 and change. So do you guys think we beat last year or no? Yeah? Well, thanks to all of you guys and everyone on the live stream. We'll be sending a donation for $5,643, which equates to 19,414 days of meals.
That is incredibly generous. And on behalf of Feed My Starving Children, all I can say is thank you. Thank you so much. And who knows, maybe next year I'll be there with you.
That'd be great. Yeah. We'll be in Dallas. Would love to meet you, Andy.
100%. If you're going to be in Dallas, I will absolutely be there. That's my promise. If you're going to be in Dallas, I'll 100% be there.
Hey, we got the man. All right. Well, thanks again, and you have a wonderful evening.
Thank
you. All right. Just thought you'd like to see that. It's just a really neat thing to see what this community is able to do. And it kind of shows you why I really neat part of that. And listen, great cause. And from what I hear from this, I mean, the ability for them to come and put on a feeding event remotely is kind of neat. So, I mean, if you're in a church organization or, I don't know, Boy Scouts or anything that has a group of people that would like to do something like that, boy, what a great cause. If you could get enough people to actually do one of those feeding events would be really amazing. Something I might try and pursue. I'm not quite sure how I do it, but boy, I might kind of keep my mind on it and see what comes up. So anyway, folks, that's what I've got for you tonight. It's obviously running a little longer than we usually run, but I thought that was worth seeing. So hope you all enjoyed it. Have a great night. Smile at everyone you see tomorrow, It'll definitely improve your day or their day, and it'll definitely improve yours too, folks. Have a great night now. Take care. Smiling Stu out.